I'm Queen ShanShan, and this is a broadcast podcast.
Hello and happy day. It's your favorite broad. Queen ShanShan is here for a new episode, new guests, and new tea. Tea. I have not said that in a long time.
You haven't?
I've not said that in a long time.
I almost forgot about it.
Wow.
But it's in our commercials.
It's in our commercials, that's for sure. Hunty, this week, Hunty, seriously, in California has just been insane.
Oh my.
We've been hit with some serious devastation, fires after fires after fires. We literally 2 days ago from this podcast recording had the Getty fire. And where I live, I'm about 3 or 4 miles from where that fire was. And the Getty Center, as most of you guys know, is a very famous museum. Multi-billion dollar museum with priceless arts and paintings and artifacts. And thank goodness for our firefighters, because they were there spot on, right? Weren't they, Edward?
They were on it.
Spot on.
Yeah.
They wanted to protect that museum, and let's be honest, there's multi-million dollar homes that's surrounding that area. So the 405, if y'all know where LA is and West LA is and versus the Valley, West LA was basically closed down. We could not get to the side of the valley because the 405 was closed. The 405 is basically the main vein in Los Angeles and one of the busiest freeways in the United States.
The busiest.
And some people were evacuated as well. And so many people live in the West LA area and these homes where celebrities were living and prominent people such as Arnold Schwarzenegger that lives in that area. He was evacuated, right? And the Bell area was also evacuated. And these are not $1-2 million homes. These are $16-20 million
$10-20
homes.
million homes.
So the firefighters were all about protecting that. And the whole day was just helicopters and sirens all day. I had to cancel 4 appointments because I couldn't even get to the valley. How was your day? That was a couple days ago, Edward. How was your day?
It was, okay, I work in a high rise, so I get to work. I work on the 20th floor of a building in Century City, and the drive-in on, I guess it was Monday. Monday was it was quiet, and once I got into the building, I looked out to the west and could see it really. Looked like the Getty was burning.
It looked like the Getty was burning.
It did, and it looked like I thought it looked like mosquitoes. The choppers and everything up there it looked literally like mosquitoes in the mountain, dropping, like taking
all the waters and the airplanes
and
everything.
They'd go and they'd come back. You could see them literally go to the ocean and come back and back and forth.
They did,
because I can see all the way to the ocean. So it was just fascinating to see that part of it.
It was a process with all the helicopters and the big huge planes that had the water.
Yeah, for sure.
When there's money involved, LA comes out.
They get that put out real quick, fast, real quick.
If Arnold is in trouble, the heroes really come out.
They sure do.
The real heroes. So thank you to our first responders and the firefighters and the police for protecting our land, our people, right?
Yeah.
It was atrocious. And now there's another fire that's happening north of California and even Simi Valley right now. And it's actually threatening the Ronald Reagan Museum, right?
Yeah, the presidential library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's protected right now, we hope.
It's protected. It's fireproof or resistant.
This is fire season, California. We have high winds. It's dry weather, no rain. So
none.
Everybody has their particular natural catastrophe. We have earthquakes over here. We have fires. The South has hurricanes and floods, and New York has their snow and the snowstorms and hurricanes as well. We have ours. We have fire and we have
fire and
earthquakes.
So I'll take that over a hurricane, though.
I will take that over a hurricane.
Any day.
Yes, absolutely. So anyways, how are your lungs doing besides everything else? Are your lungs okay?
Yeah, I've been wanting to get back into running, and it's just this is not the week.
This is not
it's not the week to do it. So I'm doing all right.
Real quick, let's speak of our week. Dominique Princess Dominique Coleman's episode. Fantastic.
It's great, right?
Episode 41, it was called The Real Parrot Trap. And I want to thank you and your friend for giving us the idea for the title.
Of course.
That was a good title. It was a story of hustling. I mean, a princess who was hustling, right?
Right.
She came from very meager means. She was in a broken home, basically.
Right.
Her mother actually kidnapped her, and she was gone for 6 or 7 years. Finally rediscovered, but she had to be in a foster care situation, raising her 5 other siblings. It was a very iconic story of grit and survival.
She's got it. Did you see my not Facebook post, but my actual Instagram post? Because I was thinking, like, what can I say to, like, I was looking up quotes of inspiration, and I just made something up, and I thought it was kind of good because I said, when you're focused on the journey instead of the struggle, your accomplishments can be limitless. And that's what she is. She's like she's getting her PhD. And
she's getting her PhD or her Psych D.
Yeah.
A doctorate as a psychologist.
Because she didn't care. She wasn't focused on the struggle that her life dealt her.
Right.
She was focused on the journey and how to get there.
One thing I really enjoyed about her story is that she didn't make excuses for how she came to where she was. We all make excuses to, well, this is how I was raised. Well, this is what my mom did to me. This is what my dad did to me. This is how I was treated in school. And this is the reason why I am. She didn't use that excuse. She didn't. She came from that excuse. And she barreled down. And she said, I'm going to make a better life for myself regardless of where I came from. And I did a quote, too, on Facebook. And it says, it doesn't matter where you came from. It matters where you're going.
That's 100% correct.
Am I right?
Because nothing happens in the past.
Hello?
It already happened, and leave it behind. She's done well.
If y'all haven't listened to episode 41, The Real Parent Trap, it is a goodie. It's a great, inspiring story of survival and hustle, and we really appreciate Princess for being our esteemed guest. Thanks, Princess. Y'all are in for a treat today on this podcast on my simple show that I actually have the esteemed pleasure of introducing Mr. Patrick David. He is a child actor, high-end furniture online retailer, and the Psycho Red character from the popular franchise Power Rangers. And we're going to talk about the resurgence for that childhood show. So strap on.
Queen ShanShan, did you get a new wig?
No.
Did you get a new shirt?
No.
Did you get a new necklace?
No.
Something is different with you.
Well, I just got my teeth whitened and brightened at Exquisite Dentistry here in Los Angeles.
Fabulous.
They do such great work, and I love them because they know that I'm a dental chicken. I'm afraid of needles, and they put me at calm and at ease the minute I arrive in their beautiful, gorgeous spa dental office.
They are simply superb.
Thank you so much. You know what? And Edward, dear Edward, you can get the same service too by calling him for an appointment at 323-484-7645 or make an appointment online at exquisitedentistryla.com.
That's bloody brilliant.
And remember, tell him Queen ShanShan sent you. Hunty. Thank you, sponsors, and welcome,
Hey,
Mr. Patrick David. Hi.
Shannon. How are you, honey?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yes, we are so excited to have you. Thank you for being on the show.
I'm excited to see you. It's been a long time. You're
It's
all
been a
over the
long time.
world.
Yeah, last time I saw you was maybe 2 years ago for lunch,
I think so.
right? And lots have transpired since I've seen you, so we're going to get into that. But I want to talk about how you and I met, because you and I love to travel.
That cruise.
And on the show, we're going to talk about some travel excursions.
Yes.
But you and I met on Norwegian Cruise Line 11 years ago.
That long ago.
I was
Flew by
with-
so quick.
Isn't it insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were so young and naive, right?
We look the same.
I was on the cruise with my best friend Heather and her at that time ex-husband, and we went to a 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise. And I met you, I don't know, the first day or the second day. I met you at the bar or the casino.
I forgot.
I know. I don't know how
I
we
was
met
with
exactly.
my mom. I travel with my mom a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm a big mama's boy. But I think I left her somewhere because I
Remember at the
introduced.
pool we met?
I think the pool maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't even know how.
On that particular same cruise, Brian Bloom, I met Brian, and he was on the show with his husband a few weeks ago as well. Actually, our third episode on the season. So it's funny how I met both of you on the same trip
That's crazy.
over 10 years ago. And now
Wow.
we're still friends. Like, when I meet friends, honey, we stay friends.
I think something about a cruise when you go on there, you kind of have this bond because
Yeah.
you just cut loose and you
It was
have
a
a
fun
great
time.
and-
Remember the weird guys we met on the cruise? Like, it's that weird older guy that was like, he won like $25,000 on the slot machines, but
He was
all day
bragging a
long
lot,
he was
too.
in the casino. What'd you say?
He was bragging a lot too.
He was bragging.
I
He was
remember that.
braggadocious. Yeah, it was a little braggadocious. But it was interesting that it was that was fun. But every night we had dinner together. Wasn't that great? And your
It was
mom is
fun.
so sweet. How's your mom doing?
She's doing good. Yeah, we're gonna go to Australia actually, like in a couple of months.
You guys booked Australia?
Yeah, yeah.
When are you?
A
you
cruise actually.
You're going on a cruise.
Yeah.
How long is the cruise going to be?
Oh, it's 11 days. I'm
Nice.
flying us out to Sydney. We'll be there for 5 days, and right after the New Year. Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna go. It's not Norwegian. It's not
Celebrity-
Royal. Celebrity.
Celebrity cruises.
Yeah, 11 days.
Ooh,
to
that's
the
a
Great Barrier
hashtag.
Reef.
Hashtag celebrity cruises. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Well, good for
excited.
you. And you love to travel with your mom. You're such a good boy.
Yeah, I love my mom.
You're such
I
a
gotta
mama
get her
boy.
out and going. And we
She
That's
get-
loves
nice.
you.
Huh?
She loves you, honey.
She better.
Are you an only kid?
No, I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. That's
He's
why.
the baby.
I am too. So that's what
So
they
you
love.
understand that.
Spoiled.
They love their babies.
So
Yes,
spoiled.
we are.
Got to give it back to mom.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. You are an actor, but you started as a child actor.
Yeah, well, I retired since.
You
I did
retired?
10 years ago. I was just over it. I'll get into that later. But yeah, I started out in the business. I'm born and raised in LA, so I had this desire to perform. Actually, in elementary school, I remember I had a neighborhood play, a one-man play of Peter Pan. And I was
one-man Peter Pan
one-man
play?
Peter Pan play. Yeah, my grandma, she sewed my Peter Pan outfit. I had flyers. I think it was like 4th, 5th grade. I handed out flyers throughout the whole neighborhood. One friend came. My mom was there.
Aww.
Tinkerbell was a little doll I threw across the room.
Of
Oh my
course.
gosh.
But I was performing in elementary school, and
That's how I started. I was performing in elementary
Yeah, I
school
was a
too.
driven
I was
little
dancing as
boy.
well.
So it was. You didn't write it too, did you?
I wrote it too.
You
yeah,
wrote it.
Well,
and all-
I had to like
Yeah,
edit it down.
the story was
shorten
already
it
there.
down a
but
bit.
yeah.
But I had I had the background music. I had sound. I had. I think I had a smoke machine too. I was.
You had a smoke machine
Sure
in
did.
4th grade.
I had a smoke machine. Oh, actually, no,
Stop
you know what
it.
it was? My mom had a facial steamer, and I put the steamer there, and I actually had lighting shining to the steamer to make
Stop
this
it.
blue light. Oh yeah, I was very, very.
We were creative.
I was very creative from the start.
That's great.
That's where it's.
So how did you actually start? You were 15, 14.
In junior high school, my friend, my friend, well, first of all, before that, movies like E.T. and The Goonies and
Love the Goonies. Love
yeah,
E.T.
so I would see these kids who were my own age having these adventures, and I was like, I want to do that, and I really wanted to, have a part of these like fantasy adventures and be able to show off my talent.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Amy O'Neill, you know her as the blonde girl from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
she was your
she was in
favorite?
my we had a lot of stars. I went to Palisades. No, this is Brentwood. So Paul Revere Junior High School in Brentwood. Malcolm
She was in that-
Malcolm
oh my
Jamal
goodness.
Warner was there.
Yes.
Amy O'Neill was there. My friend David DeLuise, Dom DeLuise's son, was in my homeroom. We had a lot of
You had some
entertainment folk
high-end kids
in
the
my
classroom.
classes. Yeah, so she actually gave me the. I said, well, how do you? She was working then. I said, well, I saw you on this commercial and that, and I said, how did you even get into that? She goes, you need to take a commercial class, and I did. So I started doing commercials at 15. The first class I went to, it was like one of those like you do a class, but the agents are watching you, and I was the only one the agent signed.
Wow.
My first audition was Burger King. I booked it. I bought my brand new car at 15 years old
Stop
because the
it.
commercial split into 2 different versions. Yeah.
Which one was it?
It was Burger Bundles.
You had to compete with Where's the Beef? Wasn't that wasn't Burger King?
that was Wendy's.
That was
That was
Wendy's.
Wendy's,
yeah.
but you were like a competitor
Yeah.
with that
Where's
old
the
lady.
beef?
I don't know.
That was
I
about the
just-
same time.
They didn't tell me because I took off from school. We had we had a tutor. We shot in Venice Beach, which not very far from Brentwood. But we had a trailer and a tutor and everything, and they didn't tell us much before we got to the set, and they gave us, and I saw the set guys in the back like putting this gloss on these burgers. They gave us a bucket at the end of like Venice Boulevard, at the end of the corner. And he goes, okay, when you're done chewing up the burger, just spit them in the bucket. And I'm like, why would I want to do that? And then, okay, action.
Ew.
These
Showbiz
burgers were
food.
horrendous because it's this gloss.
What
You're
was
like,
the gloss?
I have no
to make
idea.
it shiny.
Yeah, they don't
and
use the real food.
Like,
I wonder what
commercials.
kind
just
of
like they do in the
chemical it was.
photos, they spray them.
It was a slime, probably. Huh?
I don't know. It was disgusting. But
Makes it
then
prettier.
And you
chew it,
and the camera, you
smile,
were all
laugh, and then cut and spit
like
in the
this?
bucket.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yikes!
it was an experience.
What else have you done before? Because I want to talk about the big. When did you get the actual big break?
Oh, good Lord. God, I have so much to talk about. It's like, no, we can do this in one segment. But so I had a meeting at ABC Studios, and my friend and I were, for some reason, there was no security anywhere. We were walking around the studio lot and going into the Mr. Belvedere set and opening up the refrigerator and going up into the upstairs rooms and going onto the news channel sets and sitting there. And there's no security anywhere. But some guy came up and said, do you want me to show you guys around? And he showed us around, and at the end of our little tour, he said, do you want to go on American Bandstand? I can get you guys on.
Shut it.
And I didn't know how to dance or anything, but I'm like, oh, TV. So, yeah, I started on American Bandstand, and there were these very popular dancers there, and I kind of quickly made friends with them, and then I kind of
Were you in the crowd dancing?
I was in the crowd dancing,
Okay.
yeah, and then I kind of slowly pushed my way into the front.
Okay.
Like squeezed
To
my
be
way
seen.
into
He's
one
got-
of the most popular regulars, and then I kind of all of a sudden I
Really?
got a fan letter. Dick Clark goes, Patrick, you have a fan letter. I'm like, I do? I'm like, yes, you do. I
How
read
did
it
they
off
know your
on
name
air.
on
and
the
then
show if you weren't like credited, whatever? How did they know your name?
I,
Had to say the guy in the
yeah, they
camera?
described me. I had my own look back then.
Okay.
It was the it
You
was
need
the
to
80s,
show me
so
pictures. You need to send me pictures on those.
there's lots
looks.
of photos. Yeah.
If you're featured on TV like that, they pull you aside.
This
Like,
is
you
like
need
the
to
first-
they get all your information.
First like reality type show because we didn't have lines
Back
or
in
anything.
the day, that
yeah.
was reality TV.
Yeah, so I read off one fan letter, and then I got a whole bunch more after that. And of course, the regulars were pissed because they didn't get anything. I just started the show. I was very driven.
Good for you.
Yeah, so that's where I started.
Okay. And then after that you were on there for how many years? 5, 6 years?
I was there on that show as a regular for 5 years. At one point, Dick Clark said, I had a dream about Patrick.
Dick Clark had a dream about Patrick David?
He told his wife, Carrie, he came up to me and said, yeah, Dick Clark, Dick is dreaming about you. He should be dreaming about me. He dreamed that you took over his show.
Oh,
That's telling.
right.
Yeah, but after that, I 16 magazine called. They had spread in 16 magazine.
You had a spread in 16
I still have it.
Was
yeah.
that was like the equivalent of the Beat
Teen
back in
Week.
the day, or Teen Beat,
Teen
whatever?
Beat.
I was in those two.
You were on Teen Beat.
I have Teen Beat,
Shut
16
it.
magazine, Tutti Frutti, all those things. And then so then
Lord.
Disney. Then
We are
Dis-
so
then,
old right
Oh
now.
my God.
Tutti
Then
Frutti.
Disney Channel called, and they had their own kids version of American Bandstand. So I was on American Bandstand in a show called Videopolis.
I remember
And then-
Videopolis.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Videopolis, a Disney show, which shot right next door to Kids Incorporated, by the
That's
way.
right. Love Kids Incorporated.
And then I actually, to make a long story short, I have 5 different shows in the same time period for
Wow.
5 years, and I was still in high school.
And you're still in high school.
I was still in high school.
So cut to older now. When did you start actually in film and TV? Besides reality TV.
After I graduated
When did
high
you start
school,
getting into film?
this is like during all of the, Madonna, Vogue, and Michael Jackson, and everything. And I graduated high school, and my very first night, I was hired at Prince's nightclub. It was called, I think it was called Glam Slam or something
In
Hollywood.
LA?
In Hollywood.
In Hollywood?
Yeah, I was hired. He hired me as a go-go dancer.
Prince hired you? Not him
Yeah.
himself hired you.
Well, his people hired me. Yeah, but it was as
This
a
is a
go-go
man, this
dancer.
is a kid who didn't know how to dance, and now you're performing
Exactly.
in his club.
Yeah.
Underage at Glam Slam.
I think I was 19.
Stop it.
I was 19, and the very first night, I'm dancing on this box, and this Michael Jackson guy comes and looks at me, and he's like, him and his crew, and he's like, can you do a pirouette? And I'm like, yeah. Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, yeah. It was a Michael Jackson lookalike. He looked exactly like Michael Jackson. And he's like, do you want to come work with us in Vegas? And I'm like, yeah, when? This is a Saturday night. He goes, you start Monday. You have to move to Las Vegas.
Were you like, Mom, we're moving, we're leaving?
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
so I moved. I worked in Vegas for a year as a dancer, and then I got tired of it. I wanted to move back to LA and start my
I'm sure you miss
acting
your mom
career.
too, 'cause you're close
Well,
to your
I
mom.
would drive back every couple of weekends, and it was like 4 or 5 hour drive.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in between that, but. Yeah, that's when I wanted to come back and kind of shut the dancing down and the commercials, and I was doing a lot of commercial print and everything, but started focusing more on my theatrical acting.
What you were actually in the Greg Louganis biopic, Breaking the Surface. Breaking the Surface.
Yes.
I can see that.
He
was
he
Greg
played a
Louganis.
young Greg Louganis.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
How was
sure.
that, meeting Greg Louganis, first of
goodness.
all?
Oh,
I met
that-
him at a couple times at parties. I'm sure he doesn't even know who I am. But I've met him recently at a couple awards shows as well. He's really nice.
yeah, he's nice.
If you guys don't know who Greg Louganis is, he is the Olympic diver that had the horrible accident and then became the world's top Olympic divers. How was that experience portraying him as a child?
Oh gosh, I got a call from a brand new agent about this role, and they said, I think you're perfect for young Greg Louganis, and I had to go look him up, and I looked.
You didn't know
I
who Greg
knew
Louganis
he
was?
but
Okay.
I knew they wanted me to play him younger, and he already had this book, Breaking the Surface, out, and I looked at it, and I'm like, oh my god, he does look like me. Or
You
I look
do
like him.
look like Greg Louganis, a younger version.
The younger
of him.
version.
Yeah.
I was looking, I'm like, oh my god. So I actually did my homework. I went back to junior high school to the it was during the summer, so no one was there, but I went back there and walked around the halls just to feel, because he was bullied as a kid.
Oh,
and
he
there were
was.
some little issues I had, as I went to go
When you were
kind of
growing up as
rekindle
well.
those feelings. Yeah, so I did that, and I had some coaching, but I brought all that to the audition and I booked it.
Good for you.
Yeah. Working with him, he was on the set here and there. He did our stunts. But, Mario Lopez played him older.
Yes.
I was 25 playing 15. by the
Right.
way.
You
And
were
Mario
25 playing
is like
15.
a year and a half younger than me, and he played older.
Isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting. But even more interesting, which you guys are not expecting this, Mario and I both did Videopolis, a Disney show together.
Really?
Oh, wow.
He was a dancer on that show as well.
Wow.
And they auditioned Saved by the Bell during our lunch break. We both auditioned for the show.
For the same character?
I don't know. They didn't tell us. They talked to us both. Actually, all of us, because the
You could have been. I didn't really watch Saved by the Bell, but what was his character's name? I don't know.
Slater.
Slater.
Slater, yeah.
You could have been the next Slater.
Well,
You do
I
look-
didn't
you
have
guys
any
resemble
acting
each
experience
other.
at that time. I was just, like I said, I was dancing. I was doing all the shows, and I wasn't even a trained dancer. I was just shaking my butt trying to look cute, pretty much.
5 years of
You know what I mean?
Dick
So I
Clark
don't know
shows,
what
huh?
acting experience he had.
Right.
He's from Chula Vista, and from San Diego. He had dance experience as well. He was a trained dancer. But yeah, if you look at some of those clips, you'll see him going down the little Soul Train line we had.
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, but it's very, people don't know that we
So
both auditioned
now-
for the same show.
You've been now a
So, but
Oh.
but I arrived on the set and he's like, I know you. I'm like, yeah, you know me.
Okay.
It's on.
Recognize.
And Mario's very
Recognize,
cool.
absolutely.
He's very
He's so
cool.
nice.
Now you have this budding career. You're acting. You're getting sought after. You're dancing. You obviously, I've seen these older pictures. You had pictures with Michael Jackson. You had pictures with Madonna, Shannon Doherty. You had pictures.
Well, not Madonna.
Not Madonna.
I've
I
met
thought it
her a
was
few
Madonna.
times, but
I think you had a picture
have-
with her that you posted with her.
Madonna, no.
Well, who else was the 80? Well, I'm
Everybody
sorry, 'cause
else.
me and Edward.
Well, you know
love
why that
Madonna.
is,
We
right?
talk about Madonna every week.
It's because Dick Clark produced all those shows. He
Right,
the American
because she
Music
was on there,
Awards.
obviously.
Yeah, but that was before me.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you.
It's
That's
84.
what-
But
but
all those,
borderline.
I was fortunate enough to have Dick Clark as like a father figure because
Right.
he actually did look out for my career as well. He suggested I be the one for the 16 magazines and stuff like
How
that.
did you meet Paula Abdul?
Because she was, oh, good Lord, it's a whole nother story.
Tell
This
it.
is very funny. So she was, the first time I met her was at Videopolis. She was choreographing a piece and used some of the dancers. And I got there a little bit late, and she was in the little dance rehearsal room, her and some other dancers. And they said, Patrick, we want you to be this little dance piece by this choreographer. I didn't know who she was. And of course, back then I was a little bit of a diva myself. And I used to wear these little hats. My thing was like a little pirate hat or something. That was just the look I had. And I looked in the room, I looked at her, and I'm like, no, my hat's on too perfectly. I don't want to get it messed up. I'll pass on this. So I passed on the whole Paula Abdul number.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Then I saw her again at American Music Awards, and then I saw her again. I auditioned for, I think, one of the videos, which I just bombed. It was hysterical. But I ran into her many, many times after that.
She's a nice girl.
She's
Very,
very
so,
nice.
so
I
nice.
just ran into her earlier this year. I hadn't seen her since. And I'm like, oh my God, Paula, it's been like, so many years.
Well, let's talk about Michael Jackson. How did you meet Michael Jackson? You have a story. You have a picture with him.
Oh yeah.
And then you were on
the real Michael Jackson, not the look-alike.
yeah, we're not talking the fake Michael Jackson, the
Yeah.
real Michael Jackson. How did you get to work with him or meet him?
Okay. Well, very quickly, I met him the very first time when I was in elementary school. I heard he was somewhere, and I ran after him. I said, hi, my name's Patrick, and I love Peter Pan and Disneyland, too, because that's what he was all into. Mm-hmm. And he said, hi, Patrick. And I actually did a video, Remember the Time, with him and Eddie Murphy and, is it Iman?
Yeah, Jamal
He-
Sims,
the
who was
Egyptian
actually one of the dancers that was on my show. That was his first beginning, too. He was from Mexico, also just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jamal Sims, who is now a world-renowned choreographer, was in that same video with you.
Oh, how funny.
Jamal Sims, yeah.
Well, I auditioned for that, and like I said, I wasn't a trained dancer, and we did the choreography, the main, choreography set, and then they would have a break and say, "Okay, you guys just freestyle," and guys are doing flips and all that. I'm like, I can't do that stuff. So, as I'm leaving, one of the guys, I forgot who it was, but he said, I know who you are from. No. Do you want to be on the set? We have, like a small acting part. You can be, in a certain scene. And I said, yeah. I mean, it's not a big role. I'm not dancing, but it's Michael Jackson. Hello, yeah, I'll do it. So I was there for a couple of days at Universal and had this little small part. But I talked to him for a minute. I did not mention when I met him as a child, which I wish I did. But
he would have remembered you, though, as a child.
Edward, easy.
I don't
Stop
know.
it.
Too soon?
But what's very funny is that
With a wink. I saw that wink. Stop it.
He had this heavy gold outfit on, and I said, oh, is that heavy? He's like, oh, no, it's not heavy. And I have him wearing these little rags, and like 5 minutes goes by, and he goes, is that heavy? I'm like, huh? Meaning my rags, and I totally forgot what I said, but I'm like, huh? And he goes, he just laughed. The cutest thing.
I'm sure he did.
Anyway, on the way out, he was doing these photos with these kids in the little Polaroid camera, and then I'm like, I want a picture of Michael Jackson.
Of course.
So I'm like, can I have a picture too? And there's one photo left in the camera, and he's like, sure, come on. So I got my photo of Michael Jackson.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who else did you work with? You worked with Cicely Tyson. You worked with, who else in your career have you worked with that's super duper famous?
I have regrets because I've worked with a lot of
divas?
icons. Like
Okay.
I did a movie.
But you said regrets, though.
Because I didn't talk to them about their careers. I mean, I've worked with Gwen Verdon for a couple of months. Huh?
Gwen Verdon from Sweet Charity, she's a famous
Yes,
choreographer,
yes. She was
married to Bob
I did a
Fosse.
movie called Walking Across Egypt. It was a Hallmark film with JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Okay.
from
Home
Home
Improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a bully in that film.
I saw that reel. I saw that.
Yeah,
You
I was
were a bully.
there.
You
We
played
shot-
a mean. We're going to talk about that playing
Yeah,
a villain
I
because
like playing a
obviously
bully.
you did that very well.
Thank you very much.
You played a bully and you were beating him up and
Yeah,
stuff,
it was a-
making fun of him.
It was an all-star cast. He was in it. Ellen Burstyn, Mark Hamill, Gwen Verdon, quite a few people. And I was on set
Mark Hamill
for-
from Star Wars.
From
obviously.
Star Wars, yeah, Luke Skywalker himself. Mm-hmm. But I didn't talk to any of them about their career. Pick their brain or anything.
Why not? Were you scared?
I just.
You didn't.
I think that at that point you never think they're going to be gone or anything, or just don't want to bother anybody. Or Gwen Verdon, I knew she was Fosse's wife. I thought she was just his wife.
You didn't
And
really
she-
know who she was.
No,
You didn't know
then
how
I saw
legendary
the biopic, and I'm like, oh
Gwen
my
Verdon
gosh, she
was.
had that
Huge.
huge
Oh my
input in the
goodness.
career. And
Yeah, one of
I
the
had
godmothers of musical theater.
no idea.
She's the show.
But
Yeah.
but what's nice is that the opening credits, my name follows hers.
Oh, okay. And what was that movie called? Walking Across
Walking
Egypt?
Across Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what other productions or people who when you go to bed at night and you're like, oh, I remember that? That was so amazing. What other icons have you worked with?
I miss David Carradine. David Carradine was amazing.
He was weird though.
No, he was not weird.
I heard that he was so
let's go
strange,
back
like
up.
his background, his home life.
I played David Carradine's son in a movie called By Dawn's Early Light. It's a western for Showtime.
Yeah, he had an interesting sexual life on the side.
Yeah, well,
So did Michael Jackson.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
So did a lot of them, I guess. Let's be honest.
Anyway,
that's true.
we shot in Vancouver for 3 months in Vancouver.
Was he fun to work with?
He was the nicest guy. I played his son, and I lied, said I knew how to ride a horse. I booked the job. Then
Everyone lies when they want to be an actor.
Of course, and then I had to
Everyone
quickly
lies.
learn how to ride a horse at the equestrian center in
You
Burbank.
totally lied. Did they? I'm sure they found it immediately.
Well, we had
this
more.
guy lied.
We had
on
more.
his
No,
resume.
we had more training there in Vancouver, but I was in the back of the van, transporting to the set, and he didn't know I was in the back, and he's like, my character's name was Eddie. He's like, that Eddie, damn, I didn't think he'd know how to do shit, and he knows how to really ride a horse. He knows how to ride a horse very well. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, Eddie, I didn't know you were back there.
So he was talking crap about you.
No,
and
he
you were
was,
like,
he was giving me compliments I didn't even know. But we also had a day where we're doing like the B-roll, which is just like the background stuff, and it was raining, so we had to sit in his trailer for like the entire day, pretty much waiting for the rain to lift, which it did not. So I shared my first cigar ever with him.
Oh.
And we talked, and it was just him and I in his trailer talking the entire day.
I
He was
do
the
like
nicest
David
guy.
Carradine because our family nights back. Oh God, I'm again aging myself. Our favorite show back in the '80s was Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm. My brothers too. I
We
didn't watch
watched
it, but
Kung
my
Fu
brothers.
religiously. That was our favorite show. And then, of course, my favorite movie to this time, my ringtone is the movie
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yes, my dad is Bill.
So I do have to say David Carradine is still a part of my life because I'm part of my growing, even though he was kind of weird off camera.
I hated hearing about
that's
the way he died.
You know how he died.
I know how he died.
due
It devastates me. He was-
asphyxiation.
Put it this
so.
way: David Carradine and Richard Crenna. You know who Richard Crenna is? He's
Richard,
also
yeah.
He's also stars in the film. The screening we actually had an advance copy of the film, and they came to my house. They came to my house and watched it in my living room. David Carradine and Richard Crenna, these celebrities in my house, these icons. I never asked them a darn question about Kung Fu or
Why not?
because it never crossed my mind.
That was an iconic
I
series
know,
in the
but
80s.
I mean that's how nice they were. I
Iconic.
didn't go to their big mansions. I had a nice sized house, thank God, at the time. But they were in my room, like just like regular
we
people
love that.
watching.
Do you remember the show?
Watching our film for
Edward?
the first time.
Kung Fu. Oh my God.
No,
No.
So
but you know
80s.
David
I had
Carradine, right? You've seen Kill Bill.
Oh, it's my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Well, the two favorite movies of all time. I mean,
That's how That's how he's famous. Anyways, there's so much to talk about. Let's take a break, and we're going to talk about some influencers and some role models, and we're going to get into the Psycho Rad.
Got it.
Arr.
chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Queen ShanShan, I actually want Jack Frost to be nipping at my nose while I'm roasting my chestnuts on an open fire outdoors. So that means I need a chimney and an outdoor pit. Do you know anybody that can do that for me?
Happy holidays, Hunty, Edward. Yes. And you know what? You're going to contact RB Paving and Landscape Design at 760-947-4191 for a free quote. Or you can also contact them online at Beltran Paving and Landscape Design. Hunty and happy holidays. We're recording this podcast on October 30th, but tomorrow is obviously Halloween. So once people listen to this podcast, it'll be a few days after. But you were actually invited or some sort of involved in the Hocus Pocus, because Hocus Pocus right now is super popular with people. They love the movie with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker. So how did you know Kenny Ortega and that whole situation? He directed Hocus Pocus and Newsies.
One of the biggest regrets that I have, because Kenny Ortega, directed Newsies, which I auditioned for, but I had to leave town, so I couldn't do the film. He directed Hocus Pocus. During that audition for Newsies, I said something. He said, tell us something interesting about yourself. And I said, I get fan mail.
I get fan mail?
I get fan mail. And he loved it. He's like, give me your fan mail. He's like, give me your number. Da, 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 da. And he said, he just called, invited me to the wrap party for Hocus Pocus at Disney.
Did you get to meet Bette Midler?
No, I don't. It's a blur. I remember this. It was on a soundstage, and the graveyard was there, and all the actors were there, and the food was there, and I just kind of gets blurry. But the thing is that I didn't take one photo. I didn't talk to him. I didn't take one photo, and now that movie is huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It has
I was at the
cult
wrap party.
following.
The only one he invited, because he invited a whole bunch. He's like, you want to come?
Yeah.
Not one photo.
Huge cult following right now.
Wah, wah,
wah, wah, wah, wah, wah. Hey, real quick, because I wanted to ask you two things. What advice would you give parents today when they want to bring their kids in the entertainment field? What advice do you want to say? If you're a parent, what are the pros and cons in being in the entertainment industry today? Because it's so more cutthroat than it ever has been.
I honestly don't know, because it's changed so much. I mean, I left about 10 years ago because I've grown tired of it. You know what I mean? I wanted to be more in control.
Right.
And I left at a time where the agents and managers wanted us to do more work, like more promoting ourselves. I'm like, no, I do all the training, I audition, what is your job? I don't need to promote. I'm doing enough work, and certain things would fall through, and nothing's guaranteed. So I left on my, I just had to leave. Since then, I don't know what has changed.
But what is the advice that you give to parents now? If you want to give any advice to parents.
To the parents or to the actors themselves, or the kids?
To the parents who want to get their kids in acting. Your mom got you into acting, even though you were.
She supported me.
She supported, but she still had to sign contracts and sign because you
did.
were minor.
And she actually paid for my publicist as well.
Exactly. So, what is the advice that you would give parents right now to children who want to act?
They have to follow their dream.
Be honest.
Yeah, they have to follow their dream. I mean, you can't tell a kid you can't do this, can't do that if that's where their passion and their heart is. Who knows that's going to be the next, big celebrity or icon. Who knows?
That's
you can't
true.
say don't do that, but just be cautious, I guess, because people are shady out there.
Sure.
And I did leave with a lot of memories of people promising things, and they, of course, want something in return.
They wanted something in return.
Of course, they always want. It's always like, I'll give you this, you give me that kind of thing. It's just, it's shady. It's shady. Just be careful.
It's a shady business.
And I'm sure it is still to this day.
Of course,
so,
of course. Patrick David, you are the Psycho Red of the Power Rangers franchise. There is a huge resurgence of this character that's happening at the Comic-Con festivals, the rise of this character. You play this character. Why is it so popular? And I don't know anything about Power Rangers. I didn't watch it when I was a kid. I was not interested. So tell us in 60 seconds, who is the Psycho Red and why is it so popular?
The Psycho Rangers were created in Power Rangers in Space as the counterparts for the Rangers to destroy the Rangers. Psycho Red is the leader of those counterparts. I did that right after I did the Greg Louganis movie the same year. It's been over 20 years, and then I got a call last year to do a huge 20th anniversary Power Rangers Comic-Con here in Anaheim. And I said, okay. I thought it would just be, this
one gig.
Yeah, but I had no idea how huge the fandom has grown. I mean, I didn't really watch my own episodes. I was really focused on theatrical acting, and I just did the gig. You know what I mean? I didn't really...
Were you actually in the costume, or were you the voiceover?
No. All of those... A lot of the footage is from the Japanese version.
Okay.
Some of them were Americans as well, but no, we had stunt doubles for that.
You were just a voice.
I was a voice, but we also had, I was human.
Oh, that's right. When you were out of the costume,
yeah, exactly.
So you were the actor. You were the actual. Okay.
And then they called us back. We got killed, and we got brought back to life in the next season.
Oh.
Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. but I had no idea that this character was like this beloved like villain in the franchise. I had no idea.
After 20 years.
Well, yeah, it's grown because because the kids grew up, and then they had their own kids, and now it's on Netflix, and even other generations are watching it. And Saban sold the franchise to Hasbro, but before that, my first action figure came out last year. I didn't know I was in a video game.
Yeah, I'm looking at the action figure right now.
And then after Hasbro bought the franchise, they came out with their own version of my character as well. So I have 2 action figures. And then a comic book just came out last week, I think it was, a week and a half ago, from Hasbro, Boom Comics, which has my image in it.
Yes,
the
it
character.
does. I saw it. Congratulations.
Because they didn't really give much of backstory to our characters back in the day. And the fans.
And now they're starting a character.
They've been begging to find out more about us, and so
wow,
it's just kind of
they're
crazy.
building that story up.
I don't know why, but they are.
So, what happens if someone comes up to you, a Lucasfilm or a Disney or
Will be Hasbro?
Hasbro Productions.
Because
Hasbro comes up to you and says, "We actually want to do a new movie or a new TV series with you." Would you say yes to that?
I mean, I would. I mean, I didn't stop acting because I couldn't act anymore or anything. But I mean, I would. Or if they wanted to go to a different route, I'd support the next person to take over Psycho Red. We'll see.
You are so good looking that you haven't aged one bit, in my opinion. I would definitely think that you'd be able to take off to where Psycho Red was resurrected.
Yeah, we don't have control over that, so I'm prepared.
Put a little bit of your MAC powder on, you'll be straight. How was it like to play a villain? You played a bad guy.
I love playing a villain because it was such an opposite from playing Greg Louganis.
You're so
sweet, very shy,
yeah, but you're also a sweet guy in person too.
I have a mean streak.
You do have a mean streak?
I have a mean streak.
Oh,
yeah, I love bringing them out.
So,
I've done a few roles that I've been. I could kick somebody's ass.
Okay, all right. What are your upcoming gigs at future Comic Con?
Actually, I'm leaving 4 days.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Orlando for it's the biggest one of the year, the Ranger Stop. It's all Power Rangers.
Wow.
It's a big Comic Con. I did one in Miami, SuperCon, which is huge. They have a few different Comic Cons throughout the country. I think maybe San Diego Comic Con is.
That's the big one too.
Yeah, they debuted my image for the comic book at San Diego Comic Con this year. And that's when everyone's blowing up my phone. But they showed your photo in San Diego Comic Con. But I think that's theirs. I did one here in Pasadena. I can't really leave much because of my business.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so there are a few coming up.
You are an online high-end furniture retailer online. What is your company called online?
The Alley Exchange.
And why did you get into that?
Because I love art. I love furniture, which kind of goes together in my brain. And when I wanted to leave the entertainment business, I'm like, what else do I want to do?
Right.
And I
fall back on.
Yeah, I went back to school and I went ahead and studied business. And I slowly learned. I actually wanted to have a brick and mortar store in Pasadena of antiques. I love antiques and history and everything. But it slowly turned into an online business, which I could reach more, more customers. So I now just turned into having more antique recreations. But it's going very well. I really enjoy it.
Good for you.
What is your... Sorry.
Because here's
I'm
Edward,
far more interested in this than entertainment. I work in entertainment, so I'm like, yeah, next. But let's talk about furniture. Like, I mean, what do you specialize in?
What?
It's high end. If you go on his website, it's alliex.com.
Yeah, it's short. The AllieX.com.
It is high end.
High end. What is your specialty? What kind of what do you like to
I
make?
had modern, and I had farmhouse and French farmhouse and country and all that stuff. But also I have a lot of outdoor huge gazebos and greenhouses and think of restoration hardware and pottery barn mix.
Okay. That's my life.
That's a good way
That's my lifestyle.
But at a
describing
totally different level. It's more aesthetic. There's more aesthetic feel to it.
Yeah, it's just
more
It's
characteristic.
just what the things that I love. You know what I mean?
And
But-
you make them yourself?
Oh hell to
No.
no.
Okay, you just you design.
you're
You
retailer.
design.
Actually, I started. I was trying to figure the business out. I did start making things like bird cage chandeliers and everything. And I'm like,
Right.
this is too time consuming.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So I started going to these different trade shows and finding suppliers that had things that were, more
Your
my
aesthetic,
brand.
yeah,
And I hand selected certain products, make sure that the sofas and couches were not hard as a rock or
Yeah.
Right.
unique in style and just kind of stood out like the things that I love. Most of my stuff now is like the French farmhouse is still big.
There's some items on their website, Edward, that are thousands and thousands of
Oh,
dollars.
check it out.
Yes, I'm like, I'm not spending $12,000 on a couch.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
not
try to
doing
keep
that.
them under 12.
But-
Even though I have a chandelier that's $50,000.
I was like, come on, Patrick.
No,
I mean,
it's
this is like
But you
serious
know
Kim
what?
Kardashian, something that Madonna would
100%.
buy.
I could list a lot more high end stuff, but I don't. I kind of keep it a little bit under.
What's the margin, if I may ask, that you make as the retailer?
I'm not telling you that on the.
Okay.
I mean,
It's a lot
we'll
of
talk
work.
about that
It's
off.
A lot of things cut out,
Right.
but you know what I mean. But I make a good amount. I try to make it. How dare you?
You gotta stay in
I was
business.
like,
You gotta-
my secret.
what's your take? Good
But it
God.
adds up.
Okay.
Wow.
I put it this way: when I first started, I had I was kind of shy. I'm like, who's going to believe that this is a real business or whatever? I had like smaller things like little knives and forks and little bags and little gift things and whatever. And I'm like, I'm looking around at these other companies. I'm like, I can be selling that too.
Right.
Forget this
So you-
$5 stuff. I'm going to $50,000.
Okay, and you have these.
And it works,
AllieX.com
After I built
is
my brand
for the
up, I'm
highfalutin customer.
Sure.
You guys don't play over there.
No, but I make sure they're high quality and very well made. I don't sell junk.
Well, I'm glad that you became an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
From a child actor, high successful career, and you said, "This is not for me anymore. I want something more integral. I want something more personal." And you obviously you're still taking care of your mother.
Yeah, my mom was born.
and you want to be close to your mom
Yep.
as well.
Yep. So I
That's
can work from
wonderful.
anywhere. We travel. I worked from the cruise ships. We're in Europe a couple of years ago, and my store kind of blew up as far as like things going wrong with shipping, but I was able to go off to the side of the ship and do some work, and so that's fortunate instead of having a brick and mortar, but it's a way of taking care of my mom as well.
Yeah,
That's great.
Good for you. Well, we're going to cut this segment and say thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about some travel in a minute, but thank you for braving the LA streets to come here from Burbank.
God, it was awful.
We know from Burbank to West LA, it is a trek. So I definitely want to say thank you, Patrick, because coming over here is a little bit. And you're my friend. I've known you for a long time. I've seen your progressiveness, your accomplishments.
I've seen yours.
I know. Thank you for following me and
So
saying
proud of
things.
your
and
podcast.
We're keeping each other. We always keep each other intact on Facebook for sure, and texting as well. And we need to do lunch again. The last time I had lunch with you was 2 years ago.
Oh my God. Time
Insane.
To fly.
I know.
I
let's-
have one question though
Yes.
before you depart. Okay, so you're wearing a Boston cap, right?
I knew that was going to come up. Okay.
I noticed that too. Why are you
getting
wearing a
crap.
Boston?
Okay, so my mom and I...
Red Sox, right?
Well, listen
Yes,
to this.
Red
Red
Sox.
Sox.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a lot of things I have not done. I have not read a comic book until I got my comic book. I have never heard a podcast until I've heard yours.
Okay. Wow.
And I have never seen a baseball game except for the Angels once a long time ago. I got this hat in Boston in my hotel lobby thinking it just meant B for Boston, and I get so much crap about this hat. And I'm like, I've never seen I didn't know there were rivals to the Dodgers. I didn't
Dodgers,
know.
yeah.
We have a
And I'm
lot
like,
of rivals.
Yeah, they do.
I thought it was just for Boston. B for
No.
Boston.
I thought
yeah.
and the World Series is happening right now,
But
so I was
it's
just wondering
my
if you were.
head. It's my favorite hat.
That's your favorite hat.
People give
Well,
me crap.
if
Oh,
you
you're
were-
a traitor. You're from LA. And I'm like, okay, look,
Oh, how
I've never
dare
seen
they.
a game. I've never seen a game. I didn't know it was a baseball
Boston's,
hat.
Boston's biggest rival is the Yankees.
Yeah.
The biggest rival.
Biggest.
So I think LA comes at a third or fourth in
Yeah.
terms of rivalry. But fine. You
Whenever
look
I go
cute in
somewhere,
the
they're like,
hat.
oh, go Red Sox, go Dodgers. And I'm like, look.
I don't know what you're
I'm like,
talking about.
I've never seen a game.
When you go to
I thought it was just a
Boston-
souvenir from the state.
When you
That's
go to
right.
Boston, they're going to welcome you with open arms.
I've already gotten Instagram. Oh, thanks for representing, and I'm like, okay.
Total accident. Total
They're
accident.
gonna think I'm a traitor.
Well, welcome, Boston, you guys. I hope you guys are listening.
It's a
but
great city. I love
It's
it.
it's
I
a
love
wonderful
Boston.
city. We went in
Love
summertime,
Boston.
and we went to Boston, P-Town, went to Martha's Vineyard.
I saw the photos.
Massachusetts is
Yeah.
a fabulous state to go visit. So and we have listeners there.
Go Astros.
Hi, Boston.
Go Astros.
Astro Houston.
Yes, girl from Houston.
Ew.
Don't be throwing shade.
Oh, that's who's playing against the Nationals, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna
Be
go for
throwing
the
shade at
Nationals.
my city. You either. Don't be no shade. I didn't.
Go
I
Nationals.
didn't grow up there. I just grew up a little east of there, but
But you're also rooting for your team state.
obviously,
Okay, are they winning?
they're winning. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't watch baseball. So boring.
I don't either. That's only when
Such a
there's like
snore.
high stakes like that, like personal involvement.
Baseball, soccer, and I think what else is a boring sport to
I don't know.
watch?
What'd you say?
Golf.
I fell asleep.
Golf.
What'd you say? What?
Snore.
Okay.
Snorefest.
I just watch the Olympics when they come on.
And I watch the Olympics when they come on, which
Mm-hmm.
is next year. Anyways, let's close out this segment. Patrick, thank you again for being our honored guest.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. I love turkey. And I'm not talking about the drumstick. I had the most amazing Turkish experience in my
I'm
life.
jealous.
I know. You've always wanted to go to Turkey, right?
Well, we almost went to Turkey. That cruise I was telling you about, my mom and I went to, started in Barcelona, we ended in Rome, but we're going to fly back through Turkey. But that was right after that.
The bombing
Bombing.
in the airport?
Yeah, it was a few months. It
2016,
happened a few
right?
months before, but there was still that high alert thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm not bringing my mama through Turkey, get
Yeah.
blown up.
Well-
so we skipped it and we just we came back a different way.
Let me tell you
But
something.
We had plans.
You have to go. You have to make new future plans. I came from there with high expectations, and I loved it. I was there last year for just 2 days when I was in Israel, and Turkey is a very unusual country. It's very sought after in tourism, but still people are scared, especially what's going on now politically right now, and that's a shame because that is hurting tourism right now. We're not going to get in the politics of what's going on, but obviously, if you guys are watching the news and you know what's with the Syrians and the troops, Turkey's having some issues. But it just so happens when that all blew up, I was there, so I was a little nervous.
Wow.
I was a little nervous, but Turkey is a gorgeous country. It is a mostly Muslim-based country. It's not a Muslim state. Let's get that straightened right now. But it is mostly Muslim. And obviously it started as a Christian country because Constantinople was in Turkey. And that is the derivative of Christendom, when Christendom started. And you and I know the Bible, right? From our background. So I found this company called Celsius Travel, and I found it on TripAdvisor. I had no reference, whatever, just from TripAdvisor. And I was taking a gamble on a group travel that I've never traveled with. So, and they're from and established in Turkey. But the minute I started emailing Asma, she's the owner, I felt comfortable. And so she gave me this itinerary, and it was a 3 or 4 day itinerary that goes from Istanbul to Ephesus to Pamukkale and to Cappadocia. I stayed 3 days by myself in Istanbul, and the city in Istanbul is vibrant, it's busy, it's metropolitan, it's modern, and you have your 1,000, 2,000-year-old medieval history from the Constantinople times to the Sultan times. I visited the Hagia Sophia, which is converted. It used to be a cathedral, Greek Orthodox cathedral that was built in 360 AD, which is now a mosque. And then across the street from there, literally across the street, is the famous Blue Mosque, which is most heralded, the most expensive mosque in the world. And I went also the second day to the Spice Market and the Grand Bazaar. Now,
That's where we were going to stay. We were going to stay right next to there. We had a hotel
Don't.
already set up. No?
Don't.
I'm glad we didn't.
it is a very busy part of town.
Oh, wow. Well,
And it was crowded. Like when I went to the Grand Bazaar, I could only be there for an hour.
wow.
There was so much hustle and bustle. the hawkers, the vendors are
Oh.
incredibly aggressive. They're incredibly aggressive to where you just like, oh God, I don't want to buy anything. And how many lanterns can you look at? How much tea can I buy? How much coffee can I buy? How much Turkish Delights can I eat?
You know what I did? I
What?
bought one of those lanterns.
You did buy
I
one
looked
of
at
those?
so many. I
Where'd
bought
you
one.
put it in your house?
I shipped it back
Oh,
to the
you did?
States, and it's in my room.
It's a
now.
gorgeous thing, but
They're gorgeous, but
there's 50 million
I shipped it.
shops.
Shipped it from there.
Wow.
Cheap. I was like a bargain.
You
And
can trust it.
it was in my office when I got back.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's
They
cool.
were
Those
on it.
lanterns are gorgeous, but it was lanterns, tea, Turkish lights. Lanterns, tea, Turkish lights. And then you got your tchotchkes.
Girl, and that Turkish tea was so good.
Oh yeah, I had Turkish tea every day.
Every day.
And the men, let's be honest, the men are awesomely gorgeous, but they're a little bit too aggressive for me. It was a little kind of if I say no, they ask again and they ask again and they ask again and they ask my name and they ask where I'm from. Like it was always.
My gosh.
If I say no, they don't take no for an answer, and it was very annoying at the same time. Either they wanted to go out with you, or they wanted you to buy something. So I'm telling you, the men in Turkey, they're very aggressive. Let me just put it that way. Okay, I was not turned on by any means, but
You're not turned on?
What do you say?
You're not turned on?
I was not turned on. But I also, when I was in Istanbul, since I stayed at the Intl, it's this really nice suburb of Istanbul. I went to the very famous Nusrat restaurant, and you guys heard of Salt Bay, hashtag Salt Bay. He's the guy, very famous chef, restaurateur. He's a butcher, and you see him on Instagram and Twitter sprinkling the salt on meats.
I have not.
No?
No,
The guy
I have
has
to look it
millions of
up.
followers. So he actually made a following because he's very ostentatious in how he presents meats and cuts the meats and has these really interesting videos. He works out and all the celebrities follow him and all the celebrities go to his restaurant. So I had the opportunity to go to his restaurant in Istanbul, and I had this gorgeous waiter, and I met the managers there, and it's just a really nice, it's very highfalutin, this restaurant. And he wasn't there, though. I would have loved to have met him. But his nickname is Salt Bay. And I ordered this cheesy meatball, which we, even though we had meatballs tonight on our podcast, the cuts of meat were so precise and so pristine. Like, it just melts in your mouth. It was delicious.
I love the food there.
And I had lamb chops there, and I had the salad. And everyone wears these, they're very, the waiters, all of them are men. There's very few women working in the restaurant. And that's, again, like that in Turkey, because it is a very manly machismo culture. So the waiters were men, the hostess were men, everybody was a man in the restaurant. There was a few ladies working there, and they were just cocktail
Male-dominated.
waitresses. But it was a very great experience. I really enjoyed the meats. I definitely recommend going to Nusrat. There's a restaurant in Miami, and there's a restaurant in New York. We're hoping one will come here in Los Angeles.
Oh, really? Wow.
So hashtag Salt Bay. Are you
I
listening?
wish I would have known I was in Miami over the
Yeah,
summer.
Right.
you gotta check it out. It's a really nice restaurant. Anyways, a few days in Istanbul, I had the pleasure to go see the Whirling Dervishes. If you guys don't know who that is, it's a religious sect of Islam, and it's the practices of Rumi, Rumi. He's a very famous poet, and he spoke of peace and of uplifting to God and the truity of God, and there's different levels of that. And so there's the whirling dervishes they twirl or spin in a trance, and one hand when they're twirling, one hand reaches to heavens, and one hand reaches downward to represent earth, and they are the universe.
Wow.
And it was an hour performance, and you just felt so peaceful. The audience, you couldn't hear a pin drop. Like, you could hear a pin drop, I'm sorry. It was so quiet. You're not allowed to clap in the performance. It's very submersive. It's very non-ego, no ego, very humble experience, and I just loved it. So I highly recommend seeing the whirling dervishes. Yes, Edward.
This has nothing to do with those, but did you see all the dogs in the city?
Dogs
The
and
stray
cats.
dogs?
Yeah.
Stray dogs are everywhere.
Really?
Everywhere, but not in a bad way. Like,
You know
like
what?
they take care of them. They're actually not mangy at all. They're very friendly, and
Yeah.
I love that.
Well,
They
it
take
was-
care of their
Can you
dogs.
just
there.
grab one and like keep it as a pet?
If you
You
wanted
could,
to,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
But the same thing was in Egypt. Lots of cats.
Lots of cats in
Cats
Egypt,
were
yeah.
roaming all over the place, and on the pyramid, as hot as it is down there, they were roaming in the pyramids. They were roaming around the tombs. They were roaming around one of the islands we went to. So cats are huge, but they're feral. They're feral cats, but they're not like what you think of feral here in LA. You know, it was different. Yeah, that's right. Ephesus, the ancient.
I've been there.
You did go to Ephesus,
yeah.
the ancient Greek city. We went there as well, and fascinating city because obviously we went to Mary's house. You know, the mythical or the rumored or the alleged house that Mary, Jesus' mother, last stayed, where John helped escape after Jesus was resurrected, because
see,
she was on the run.
We were there, and it was a very quick tour. I mean, we didn't read everything, so I missed that.
Did you go to the house?
I don't know.
It was a brick house. Well, not brick. It was a very simple square home.
We were running around that city and doing photos and stuff, so I
Yeah.
think I missed that.
It was very simple,
I knew there was
but you
very-
did feel a calming when you get there.
Yeah.
It's, the historians can't really pinpoint where she passed away, but it's rumored this was the house that she
died there?
She died there, yeah.
And they
That was
actually had to
her last
recreate
days.
the house too, because it wasn't what you went into wasn't the original
And
structure.
inside-
I'll
It
have
was-
to Google it. and
Inside,
look and see if I've
inside is
seen
very
it.
simple. I mean, there was a
Okay.
couple of nuns that were doing their prayers and their penance there. But you walk up this little hill, and and there's this other story of this other nun that had visions 300 years ago. What was her name? Katerina.
Oh my
forgot
gosh,
what her
I'd be
name
lying
is.
if I said.
They actually have a
yeah,
couple
I can't
movies
remember.
about this nun who had visions of Mary, and these precise degrees of where this house was. And the historians found it, and they're like, "Wait a minute!" So she was fainting, and she was having. I think she was having nosebleeds as well, or headaches, and she was like, she would wake up with these dreams of where Mary's house was, and it was this particular area. Who knows?
Wow.
That's rumored, but it was very relaxing. Then of course we went to the actual city. The ruins were up the Ephesus streets were, and we went to the famous library. When you see the ruins of the library
Yeah,
there,
a photo of
the
it.
public toilets, the Roman public toilets, and then we also went to the Temple of Artemis, and that's considered still the seventh ancient wonder of the world. And the ruins are this one lone column, and you'll see if you go and Google Artemis, the Temple of Artemis, it's this one lonely temple, one lonely column that still stands after, I think, 3,000 years.
Was that in the middle of like a field
Yes.
like thing, and then
Yes.
there's another thing
Yes.
way up a hill?
Where there's other
Yeah.
structures and then
yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that's the Temple of Artemis, and it's just considered that one because it was destroyed by fire.
Right, that's right.
And they didn't rebuild it. So this temple, the Greeks built this temple for Diana or Artemis because they would go to worship her when they had victories. Unfortunately, that temple is no longer, and there's only this one
That one lonely column.
column.
I bought some coins there. Did you?
Oh, you did?
Were they selling you some coins?
They were
I-
selling everything. Every
I'm-
time you go to a landmark, anywhere
Yeah,
you go, there's always hawkers. And that
Yep.
again was annoying. But it was awesome. Real quick fun fact, legend says Ephesus was founded by the Amazons, a tribe of female warriors, and the city was named after their queen, Ephesia.
I did not know that.
Fun fact. Anyways, our next location, we went to Pamukkale. And Edward can talk about this as well, because you went to Pamukkale,
Oh, yeah.
and it is fascinating. The area is famous for a carbonite mineral left over by flowing waters, and it's warm, luscious thermal waters. And the water dissolves in this white calcium, and it's becomes saturated, and it carries onto the Earth's surface. And so it actually has different levels of white deposits, and it looks like snow.
Wow.
It
So when
does.
you're driving into Pamukkale, you see this huge mountain, and it looks like snow, but it's all white limestone, all white deposits from the from thousands of years.
Yeah, it looks like it's
thermal
almost
waters.
man-made. Almost.
looks
You're
man-made.
like,
In the water
you're
yourself?
like,
Yes,
get
you
in the
can
water.
swim. We went swimming in this area called Cleopatra's Pool, where actually Cleopatra would swim. This was all by the Egyptians found this area, then the Greeks and the Romans. So there's Roman ruins still there. There's a huge theater that used to sit
Huge.
10,000 people or more.
Huge, massive.
All kinds of temples that used to be there. There was Roman baths that are still standing there. It was fabulous. We were there for all day. We were swimming. We had lunch there.
And
It
the
was
views,
amazing.
right? That like you could be in the like pools of the public holiday pools, and you look out at the mountains.
Yes.
Massive mountains.
Yeah.
I never knew that about Turkey. That it was so.
Yeah, it was just like cascading
huge.
different levels, and you would just swim in there. You could just wade in there, and there was a million people there. And people would dress up just to take pictures. Like you would see these girls in these gorgeous dresses because they wanted their photo
the gram.
moment, their Instagram moment. But it was
the gram.
fantastic. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was actually a religious experience there because you just can't believe they're there. That this actually exists. This is wonderful. The earth. That traveling is so religious to me.
I love
because I
traveling.
really love just experiencing all these true treasures of the earth. You know. And real quick, the word Pamukkale in Turkish means cotton castle. Yeah, because it looks like a cotton castle.
Truly does.
Yeah. Next excursion was Cappadocia, and Cappadocia is known for its oddly shaped hills and mountains, and it's a cave city. So all these people still live in caves and mountains. It was really cool, and they're very phallic-y. These the shapes of the caves they look like penises. It looks like foreskin. It looks like someone needs to have a job, a cut job, but but it's just an amazing area. 25 million years of volcanic ash. Cappadocia is also known for its hot air balloon experiences. So people go to Cappadocia just to do hot air balloons, and the hot air balloons could be up to $500 a person.
Oh my god!
I know. I didn't do it. First of all, I'm
Goodness.
afraid of heights, and I'm not going to spend $500
I've never done
for.
that experience before.
You know, I had hot air
No.
balloon. Me either,
And I never will. We have the same fear.
Edward,
No.
are you like
Yeah.
all about the hot
Too long
air
to go
balloon?
down.
Oh hell no! I'm never doing that
Hell to
Slow.
no.
because it'll be the one that goes down.
Yeah.
and catches on fire.
Mine will catch on
Like,
fire.
kills everybody on
and
ground.
I'm into me, and then
Caught
there goes
on
my
tape.
there goes my $500.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what
In
you'll
your
be thinking
brain.
on your way down. There goes my $500.
I stayed at the this hotel called the Garome Cave Hotel. It was fantastic. I had my first Turkish bath experience.
Wow.
And that consists of a full body massage. You're full on naked. You have your own lady, like your own person. And so she gave me a full on body massage. You can have your own masseuse, honey. Whoever you want, Patrick. But you go in full on naked. You get a massage, and she bathes you and scrubs your skin where your skin is just glistening soft. And then she just pours all this gorgeous warm water on you. And it was like an hour and a half experience.
My goodness.
Oh, my first.
For how
Turkish-
much?
It was
American?
$70.
That's it?
That's it. You know how much that would be here in LA?
I know. I paid
$300 bucks.
400.
Yeah, over
At least.
Burke Williams.
If someone's, you have your Korean baths here and your Korean spas here, and they're like maybe $100.
Right.
But you're also with the room of other naked men and women, so no thanks. You're seeing everybody's muff and their asses, so no thank you. This was you had your own private experience.
Wow.
So that was my, I want to also give mention to Marriott Bonvoy at Le Meridian in Istanbul. Fantastic customer service. My room was amazing. I had a corner room. They upgraded me. I always love staying at Marriott. So hopefully, Marriott, are you listening to this podcast? We love Bonvoy. Hashtag Bonvoy Marriott. Thanks for the customer service. We really appreciate it. And the people of Turkey, really nice. I mean, even though the men are like, a little aggressive to women and a little bit sometimes inappropriate, overall, the people of Turkey are great. And I highly recommend going there. And it's very affordable. You have Turkish Airlines, and going round trip from LA to Turkey is nonstop.
Good
And
service
affordable.
too. Great
And
airline.
Great,
Oh, really?
great airline. Yeah.
Great airline.
I flew British Airlines.
I forgot I flew it as well.
I flew British Airlines because I was in Cairo. It was in Egypt, so my connecting is easier. But my connection from Cairo to Istanbul was on Turkish Airlines, and it was great.
I just realized we did fly from Rome to Istanbul, but then we didn't leave the airport. We just connected over and came back to LA.
You like to travel, so what you said you're going to Australia in a couple of months,
Australia in January.
and then any other excursions for 2020?
Oh goodness, a lot of family things going on. So we didn't plan that much off the bat. I know I do have probably end up going back to Florida. I'm always in Florida for something. I don't know.
You have family in Florida?
No, for business.
Oh,
I was
okay.
at the 3 different Comic-Cons this year in Florida.
Isn't Greg Louganis from Florida?
Boca Raton. He's from I know the story. But he was from the San Diego area, but he went to college there in Boca
That's what I
Raton.
thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, that was my travel segment, and we talk about travel here, so thank you for participating, Patrick.
Thank you very much.
And Edward. And
Thank you.
we wish everybody safe travels, because we're also heading into the holiday season, so it's going to be a lot of traveling and lots more stories. Yay! Thanks. Remember our holiday giveaway, Edward?
Oh, yes,
That's
I'm ready.
still happening.
That's still happening?
That's still happening.
Well, it's still the holidays, too. So.
Yeah, the holidays are definitely
thing.
coming up, and Jeffree Star is blowing up. His new palette with Shane Dawson is coming up on Friday, November 1st. This show will air after that launch, but again, they are speculating, they're forecasting the first weekend's going to be over $35 million. Can you imagine for a freaking
God.
eyeshadow?
No, I can't.
It's insane, but it's not just eyeshadows. He's selling accessories, makeup bags. There's another mini palette that's going on with it. It's called the Conspiracy palette, and then it's the Conspiracy palette, and then oh my goodness, the mini palette, Controversy palette, and then he's selling mirrors, he's selling bags with Shane Dawson. They're both gonna just come out green on this collaboration. It's fantastic.
Really
Kudos to
green.
them because they're entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I like that.
But anyways, my palette I'm giving away is the Blue Blood palette in the giveaway, and also the Ultimate Jeffree Star Orange Chrome Mirror. And if you listen to the last 2 shows, episode 41 and episode 40, there are secret phrases in those shows. Okay? And I'm not going to reveal it on this episode because that means you have to listen to episode 40 and episode 41.
And that means you have to download it.
That's right. So once you listen to those shows, you're going to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is A Broad Podcasts, and let me know what the secret phrase is, and you will be automatically entered to win.
So get after it.
That's right. Winner will be announced on Instagram on November 8th. My IG Instagram handle is Abroad Podcasts. Who's going to be the winner?
Oh, I'm in a food coma right now.
I am so stuffed.
Oh, me too.
Ma's Italian Kitchen, you did it again. Edward, what did you have for dinner tonight?
Oh, I had pasta primavera with peas and mushrooms and Alfredo sauce, girl.
Delicious. I had linguine, fresh chopped clams with garlic and pecorino cheese. Ah, it was so good.
Heavenly.
Ma's Italian Kitchen, you did it again. They can be reached at 818-567-2288 or order online at masitaliankitchen.com. Hunty.
Time for dessert.
We are so grateful that we had a really good treat on our Facebook Live. If you guys didn't check out our Facebook Live on A Broad Productions podcast on the Facebook Live website, please take a look because we actually taste tested Shroomeats. And Shroomeats is a mushroom plant-based meat company, super healthy and delicious, and it actually has a take on American comfort food. You can make pizza, hamburgers, tacos, pastas. Any ethnical backgrounds can actually utilize the quote-unquote meats. And I want to introduce the owner, or the co-founder, I should say, of this company, Shroomeats, Dissaya. Hi, Dissaya.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Shannon.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your last name, but how do you say your last name?
Tiraka-san.
Okay. We're going to call you Dissaya T.
Yes,
Right?
and that's
Okay.
what I usually call myself because it's so long and it takes me like 5 minutes to get everything together.
Well, thank you for being on our food segment. I'm so excited, and thank you for being. We loved tasting the food tonight. You actually made us spaghetti and meatballs,
Yes, shroom balls.
shroom balls, and then you made us these hamburgers, but shroom burgers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I want to get Patrick's take before we even go into how you started and everything. Patrick, what was your take on what we tasted tonight?
Well, the first like non-meat like burger I tried was at I think it was Carl's Jr.
It was
And-
like an Impossible Burger, or no? That's Burger King.
Same thing.
Okay.
It was a different name, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
But that was good. But hers was. It was so much better.
You were scarfing
Thank
it
you.
down, dude.
I was so hungry, first of all, but the taste. Yeah, that was. It was very nice.
It was
That makes
very
me
nice.
happy.
And I couldn't tell it wasn't meat at all.
And from the cheap seats, Edward, what was your thought?
Fantastic, delicious, orgasmic.
Okay.
Orgasmic?
It was really,
Love
really,
it.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed every bite of the whole sandwich that I had. The pasta with the meatballs. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Angel hair pasta.
Now, is that a quick meal? You know, can you but you have to let it simmer for 2 hours, you said. No?
Yeah,
Or you
I
don't?
did,
Or do
'cause-
you not? Can you just do it, like microwave it and be done with it?
You can do both.
You can do both.
You can do both. It depends how you like to cook.
Okay.
I did marinate it for a while because it soaks up the flavors, and that's from the fiber of the mushroom. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it really like they adapt to flavors, and that's what's great about these shroom
It's a
balls and
comfort
patties.
food. So you're building a comfort food that people want to make hamburgers and pastas and pizza. If they want to have a lasagna, but they don't want to have beef, and they don't want to have lamb, or they don't want to have chicken. This is a plant-based but mushroom-based alternative.
Yes.
So vegans are going to go crazy after this. Vegetarians are going to go crazy after this. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not vegan, but I do want to take breaks from having meat.
Yeah.
And wasn't this a hearty dish that we had tonight?
It was. I went vegetarian for a week.
Oh.
About 2 months ago.
Congratulations!
I went to Trader Joe's. I went everywhere trying to find some of these, non-meat.
And it wasn't good
I
for
was
you?
kind of grossed out for a while.
Really?
I don't want to eat animals, poor little things. Yeah.
I know. We
And then
love our chicken
and I'm
and
like,
our
oh
meat.
my god, I want a burger so bad.
Well, I'm actually
I had
loving
ribs.
this alternative, and you gave us some samples. Thank you, Dissaya.
You're very
How did you
welcome.
start this company, real quick?
I started because I started cooking for my mom.
Okay.
And she was a vegetarian for a long time. My dad usually was the chef of the house, but he had passed away 12 years ago. So I kind of took the lead, and I'm like, all right, I'll cook for everyone. I love cooking. So in Thailand, we have abundance of food resources, as you know.
That's
And-
where you're from.
Yeah, that's where I'm originally from, and all of our ingredients that are in the foods are from there too. And shiitake mushroom is like big in Southeast Asia. So
Yes, it is.
so I'm like, I'm cooking with shiitake mushroom a lot, and this is gonna be great in every meal. And usually instead of meat, I use shiitake mushroom. So my partner and I started the idea, and then she's like, you know what, this needs to be in the market. So we kind of jumped on board together, and she's like, let's develop the recipes. And Mary, she's one of my best friends and now partner too, and we knew each other when I was an exchange student. So everything got connected, and she's like, you know what, U.S. market is great.
Good.
And it's
Yes,
it's
it
such a
is.
big consumption in the world that a little bit makes a big impact. So we took that on board all together, and now we want Shroomeats to be the new meat alternative, and we want
course.
to make people happy and satisfied when they eat. Like, you need to be happy
Well,
when you eat, right?
I'm going to say that I'm full. I feel satisfied. Did you feel satisfied, Edward, eating this?
100%.
What about you, Patrick? Do you want more?
No. I scarfed it. I was so hungry, but I didn't eat that much, and I'm full as well.
I am so happy to announce the ingredients to your Shroomeats, and it's only shiitake mushroom, soybean flour, soybean oil, sugar, salt, and pepper. That's it.
Yes.
All natural ingredients. Seriously,
Yes.
natural ingredients.
and
It's
and free of GMO.
yeah, no GMO ingredients, gluten free, no cholesterol. That's huge. No artificial flavors and no preservatives. You gave me and Edward a gift, and it's in our freezer. So obviously, if we want to use it, you just put it in your freezer and just cook it in the skillet, or we can cook it in a crock pot. We can cook it in the microwave. It's very diverse.
Yeah, so you can actually cook them any way you like. They're very mildly flavored, so like I said, they soak up a lot of flavor. So whatever flavors you like, you can play with it. You can have fun with it.
That is wonderful. Well, we congratulate you because we always want to initiate entrepreneurs on the show.
Thank
on
you.
the shore. Look at me on the show. And
We're going to be going to the shore from her yacht. When she gets
Oh, yeah.
you better invite
y'all are
me and
welcome.
Edward and Patrick on the yacht excursion, the grand opening of your 50th store. That's going to be, we're manifesting
So
that.
excited.
We're
It's gonna be
manifesting
sustainably
that.
run.
Get your bathing suit.
I got my back.
Yeah, get your bathing suit ready now.
Ready.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking at your website, and the website is Shroomeats, right? Shroomeats.com?
Shroomeats.co.
Shroomeats.
Shroomeats.co.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
And they can find you on Instagram at
Yes.
Shroomeats. That's spelled SHROOMEATS.
Yes.
And your email is friendlyfoodsintl.
It's actually it's info@friendlyfoodsintl.com.
There you go. Say it again, please.
info@friendlyfoodsintl.com.
Wonderful. And we're actually going to put this on the liner notes for the podcast and make sure that the Instagrammers and the Facebookers and the Twitter people know where to find you.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you are abroad and want to come on our show to discuss experiences with food, culture, beauty, and travel, please email us at abroadproductions@gmail.com. You can also find more information about our show on our website at abroadproductions.com. Follow us on Instagram at Queen ShanShan, our Facebook fan page, which is Abroad Productions, and Twitter, which is at _broad_prod, spelled PROD. And if you also want to be on the show, email us as well at abroadproductions@gmail. Patrick, dear
Yes.
Patrick, did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. What an experience.
What an experience. I got to know
ate.
you.
Got to talk on your show.
I know. I got to know you
catch
on a
up and
different level.
laugh.
I didn't even know I didn't even know a lot about your acting career.
First podcast?
First podcast.
Oh my gosh. Another
This your
cherry.
first podcast?
We've taken another cherry.
Like I said, I didn't even. I have not listened to one.
I busted the cherry.
before in my life.
Wow. Well,
Well,
We
we
thank
thank you. We thank the Psycho Red for being here. We're very excited, and
Oh yeah, that's the Instagram, the Psycho Red.
Oh, that's right.
Which I opened up, like I said, for the fans, and I just opened it up last year.
you got over like 40,000 followers on there.
Yeah, well, they know the character. You know, they don't.
They don't know
I always
Patrick
say-
David.
well, they do now, but before it was just very easy because they were waiting for that character
All right,
to
well,
pop up on Instagram. When I did, they said, "He's here, he's on Instagram. Welcome."
Well, we're going to definitely make sure that we're going to talk about you on the podcast, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You follow us on there as well, correct?
Yes.
So thank you for being here. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
But as we conclude, I am Queen ShanShan, and thank you for listening to Abroad.